The content you're about to enjoy comes from the archives of The Best You. We're devoted to the very best in personal development, with a platform and resources dedicated to inspiring and changing people's lives. At The Best You, we work with the world's leading writers and trainers on the evolution of the self, and people whose journeys have been affected by their work and words. For more information, go to www.thebestyou.co. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much. I'm Bernardo. I'm the founder of The Best You, and I'm excited to today to speak to Patty Alfonso. I've got so many questions for Patty, but she's a master facilitator, renowned coach, and best-selling author. Patty is a sought-after motivational speaker, writer, and teacher across the globe who has notably changed the lives of thousands. Her pole dancing for consciousness method is a cutting-edge approach that transforms the lives of attendees, helping them move beyond pain and limitation by accessing the amazing power of the body to heal itself. The process helps people to discover, to improve their mind and body, dramatically enhancing their physical being, business careers, emotional intimacy, and their relationship with self and others. So, Patty, first of all, please tell me your surname, Alfonso. Where are you originally from? I'm Spanish, and Alfonso's obviously got a lot of Spanish going on there. What's happening? Tell me.
I was wondering where you were from, Bernardo.
Bernardo Moya. That's right.
I am actually originally from Puerto Rico. My family on my dad's side is all Cuban. My family on my mom's side is kind of from everywhere, but she is Puerto Rican. I was born and raised in Puerto Rico. So bilingual in English and Spanish.
Oh, love it, Patty. I knew I could feel the Latino straight away.
Yeah.
But obviously with a surname like that, you can't really hide, can you?
Right.
Puerto Rico and Cuban. So amazing Latin influence. And obviously there's a lot of passion going on there with everything that you do in life.
Passion, spice, fire, you name it.
Yeah, you've got it. Brilliant. Well, Patty, so tell me, let's start from the beginning, okay? Where did you start? How did you share the journey of how you got to what you're doing today? And then we'll get into all the amazing work that you do.
Thank you. I began my journey with myself. I was completely disconnected from my body. I was miserable in my life. I was stuck in dead-end jobs. My relationships were mostly abusive in some nature. And even though all of that was going on, I knew that something else was possible and that something else was available. So I ended up in energy healing school, as you do when you live in Los Angeles, California. Yeah. And through that body of work, I was supposed to find a movement to add to my daily self-care, right? So this was the first time in my life where I was actually taking care of myself and not doing things based on what other people wanted me to do. And so, I'm sure that they thought I was going to do yoga or qigong or, something like that. But no, I am Patty Alfonso. So I found pole dancing. And at the time, I knew that there were energies that I wasn't allowing myself and my body to have and to be. And when I went to my first pole dancing class, I was like, that is it. And there began my journey with my body in a completely different way, because then I started to become more present with that sensuality and that sexual energy that is actually innately available to all of us. And so throughout my own journey, I knew that I always wanted to help people. So that's how I ended up doing the work that I'm doing is that desire to contribute to making the world a better place, that desire for everyone to be the best you that they can be. And so it's been a good 15 years of, diving in with clients one-on-one and group work, speaking, writing, and just sharing with the world the tools that I've used to start really living with my body rather than from here up. And so pole dancing for consciousness was born, as was, orgasmic living, as is everything that I'm doing nowadays.
So for me, for example, my background, I started in, many years ago. I used to work in nightclubs. I used to run parties. I used to do these parties, which got bigger and bigger. And now my parties are during the day. And now I've got 10, 12, 15,000 people showing up on loads of speakers. So there's always something that it's amazing how the skills that we have from life. And I'm always very interested in sales and marketing and always very interested in communicating. So that's, I suppose, took me then on my NLP journey and being a promoter for, gigs. Then I became a promoter for the events. So I'm doing something very different. I kind of reinvented myself very briefly, but share kind of the things and obviously your life journey has helped you to do what you're doing now. Because obviously I believe that we learn things that we then bring into our next life, or our second chapter. This is my life now. So what can you share from your early years that has given you the set of skills, to do what you do now, which you obviously love?
Thank you. It's interesting that you say that. When I was younger and people would ask me, what is it that you want to do when you grow up? And I would say, I want to be a cross between Marilyn Monroe and Mother Teresa. And, exactly, everybody would laugh, but I was completely serious. Yeah. And in reference to what you were just saying, I began as an actor. That's what I thought. I thought if I can get really famous, right, and tell things to the world, then they'll listen, and then I can help and contribute to the world. So I began my journey even before the healing work as an actor. But then I was like, this isn't really working. Me auditioning for like a McDonald's commercial is not creating what I came here to create. And so it has always been a part of my journey to get present with the future that I want to live in, the future that I want to create, and making choices towards that future. So I thought acting was the thing. But then when it wasn't really working, I was like, no, I need to shift here. And so then when I began my personal journey with my healer, I was like, oh, if I do what you're doing, I can help people that way. So then shifting from acting to my own personal work, becoming a body-mind counselor, an energy healing therapist, a pole dance instructor, a tantric practitioner. Like I just kept adding things to myself and to my body of work. And interestingly, when you do that, when you get a sense of what it is that you want to create in your life, what it is that you want to contribute to the world, and then you follow that sort of meandering path of consciousness, right? You're kind of following the road, but there's twists and there's turns. And, but if you keep staying on course, even though it's a windy road, then you can start choosing things that'll lead you there, even if it's not what you thought. Because I would have never thought that I would become an energy healer or a body-mind counselor. That wasn't what I first began. But now, having been doing this for 15 years, it's interesting because 15 years ago, there wasn't Facebook Lives. There wasn't Zoom. There wasn't, you just had your little brick and mortar healing business in the city that you lived in. And when I was doing that, I was like, I need a bigger audience. Like I want to do something really big. And interestingly enough, everything that I had learned as an actor, on camera work, being really present on stage, being able to connect with people, all of that served me in the way that it's showing up right now. So in response to your question, I would just say there has to be, if you have that sense of what you want to create, of what you want to be, and it's different for everyone, right? And you just get present with that future. It's the choices that you make along the way that will get you there. I love this saying, and I don't remember who said it, but the universe cannot contribute to you if the car isn't moving. You have to get the car moving forward. So whatever choice you can make today to get you moving in that direction, in a year's time, in 2 years' time, in 3 years' time, you will have what you've been asking for. but the courage to just keep taking that one step right next to the other, right next to the other. And I think that that's probably what has served me the most over the years, is just like, okay, I know I'm going to do this. What can I do today to create that?
It is said that we live in a world our questions create. And it's true. Those that have succeeded in life, those that stand out, those that have made a difference, those that are inventing, those that are exploring, pushing the boundaries of reality, are based on those that have asked themselves empowering questions. In my new book, The Question, Find Your True Purpose, I help you find your true purpose, find your legacy. For more information, go to www.thequestion.co. If you're interested in working with me, contributing to the magazine, maybe speaking at any of our many events around the world, partnering or licensing The Best You, go to www.thebestyou.co. Thank you. And I think that's it. I mean, you've obviously, as you've just shared, you had a set of skills that you learnt over life that obviously, helped you, served you to do what you do today. And I think that, that's part of the challenge. I think people tend to get scared or worried or concerned about, the word reinvention. And reinvention isn't necessarily completely transforming yourself to become someone completely different. It's using your best assets and really going and drilling down. And as you say, going through those dark days or whatever we may have, but keep going and explore. I also think that a lot of the time I share the fact that opportunities are knocking at our doors, or things or ideas that keep coming to us, and they're knocking on literally on our forehead. They're the size of petrol tankers, and we still walk around them because we still can't see the opportunities, So you've obviously embraced, the things that you're extremely passionate about. And it comes across with everything, I was checking all your web pages, I was checking all the videos, I was checking all the testimonials and the people that work with you. And part what I feel is lacking or missing a lot of the times in this industry is congruency. You're very congruent, so I like that about you.
Thank you. Can I just add something based on what you said? You talked about, people, sometimes there's a fear that comes up around change or around doing something different or around reinventing yourself. And because bodies are my favorite, I just want to let everyone know that fear and excitement actually feel the same way in your body. So when you have that energy come up, you might want to ask yourself, okay, am I afraid or am I really excited about this possibility? Right? Is this really fear or am I excited? And I love what you said about, the possibilities and the opportunities. They're yelling at us. And I made a deal with myself a long time ago. I am going to listen to the feather touch whispers of consciousness because I do not want the 2x4 of consciousness, right? The possibilities and the opportunities, they are literally speaking to us if we're listening and paying attention.
Absolutely.
And if we listen and act right away, then it's a lot easier. But if you shut down your awareness and your perception of what's possible, then those possibilities have to get really loud. And then comes the 2x4. And I'd rather just be present with the whispers of possibility than, I remember, when I was transitioning, right, from, acting and having a part-time job and auditioning into, this work, which is part of what I came here to do, is to contribute to the world. A big step that I had to take was to really dive in and leave my very comfortable part-time job, full-time job. And I didn't take that step. Like, I knew that it was the next step to take, but I didn't do it. And the, 2x4, which was the best 2x4 in the world, was that I got fired. And that was the best thing that had ever happened to me, because in that moment I was like, okay, now I got to dive in. you know.
The universe told you, they fired you, and then that's it. That will make you decide.
That's right. The universe was like, look, you've got big things to do, and doing this crappy 9 to 5 is not what's going to get you there. So let's move this along. And I went for the ride. I surrendered to what was showing up in the moment, and I made the best out of it. And I created a whole different life from it that I love.
Absolutely. And I think that's part of it. And you said something quite important there. I mean, I'm very deep into language and obviously how we speak to ourselves, our internal dialogue. And obviously, I always say, look, the moment you start looking at change as something good, then, you start thinking differently. But sometimes, when people say, oh my God, that's so scary. I said, hold on a minute. Why don't you just change a word, just the same thing, but change a word and say, how exciting. Now, all of a sudden, it's different. Now, it's the same thing. It's just you're using a different word. And simple things like that go a long way. So, Patty, let me ask you, because I've got quite a few questions to ask you. Obviously, we could probably speak for days here. Now, there's so many subjects around what you do. And some of them obviously kind of like, some people are probably scared about the word love or the word orgasmic. So please kind of tell us with, kind of for the listeners here today, kind of what does love mean to you and where does love start? Because obviously I'm a great believer that love starts with yourself. And I think that the big piece that's missing in everything in life is more love, sharing love, being kind, saying nice things. Love can be manifested in many different ways. Let's start with the word love. What does love mean to you?
So this is going to be a very interesting response because due to my own personal history, there was a lot of abuse in my childhood. So to me, love is not the most joyful topic. Love in my family was very conditional. And I know that there's people out there that can relate to that. So I'll love you if you do this. And if you don't do this, then I don't love you. So there was conditions placed on love. And throughout my journey, what I have learned how to shift and transform that is to be present with the energy of gratitude. Where there is gratitude, judgment, conditions, it cannot exist. So for me, that energy is more of a contribution to my life. If I can find and be grateful for everything that shows up in my life, then I can have joy and make the most out of it. So, and again, that is because of my own history. I've had to kind of shift and play with that energy of love and turn it into something that is more generative for me and for my body. So the energy of gratitude, like I said, when I can be grateful for everything that shows up, then I can create more out of everything that shows up, whether it's an uncomfortable situation or it's a glorious, amazing situation. If I can look at this and be like, all right, what's right about this? What's right about this that I'm not getting? Where can I be grateful for this? Where can I infuse the energy of gratitude into this? And I find that that energy expands everything that I'm working for and that I'm working with. Now, in terms, so also what the energy that's coming up right now also is to talk a little bit about intimacy, because it can be closely related to love, but we mostly think about intimacy with other people, right? And my passion, my purpose is to invite people to a new level of intimacy with themselves and a new level of intimacy with their bodies. And when you have true intimacy with you, you absolutely know what works for you, what doesn't work for you. You have the skills to communicate that with yourself, with your body, with the people around you. And to me, that also surpasses the idea of love. When you say love, I bet you ask that question to a lot of people. You will get a different answer from everyone.
Absolutely.
A different answer from everyone. So love is sort of a subjective, thing, kind of like using the word God or universe, that means something different to everyone. And to me, that creates polarity and condition. And yes, it's good if we do this, but if we don't, then, and again, gratitude and intimacy, when you put those things together, then a whole new energy is created that can serve everyone involved.
Thank you. And you're quite right. Love means many different things to many different people. I believe that love in many ways, exists, and it's just sometimes just transformed and manifested in many different ways. But I do get it, that it completely means. I also believe that adoration is a higher level of love. But let me ask you, what does orgasmic living mean? Now, the word orgasmic already, I assume, and I know that is a big word for a lot of people. Oh my God, yeah. Well, why are we talking about this? I'm already uncomfortable.
Yes.
So let's go into the nitty gritty of what orgasms and orgasmic means. But what does orgasmic living mean?
Yes, thank you. And I do want to honor, for the people that are watching now and in the future, when that word comes up, the energy that comes up around it. And I just want to say, look, if you would have told me 5-10 years ago that I would be on a webinar with Bernardo Moya talking about orgasmic living, I would have told you were crazy, and I would have run in the opposite direction. So I totally get it. And I want to honor that energy that may be coming up for the people that are watching. And just stay with me for a second so we can shift and change that right now. I want to start with the actual, and you said it perfectly, Bernardo. When the word orgasm comes up, we immediately go to those 10 seconds that we are all desperately trying to get to when we're in bed, right? Yeah. And it's like, oh, we shouldn't be talking about this. That should be in private. And there's all of this energy that comes
the last time I had an orgasm was in 1987.
Right. Again, that elusive thing that we are all trying to get to. And in reality, if we were all going to be really honest with ourselves, it is not always easy to reach that state, to reach that energy. For most people, it's very challenging, and it's not something that we talk about often. But what I want to do is I want to take this energy of orgasm and let's pull it out of the bedroom. And let's look at it as an energy that you can have in your life. The energy of orgasm, as described by the tools of Access Consciousness, is the energy of the creation of your life and your body. So when we look at the energy of orgasms, there is a what are the words? There's pleasure, there's joy, there's uncontrollable full body sensations, there's sometimes laughter, right? If we're looking at the energy. So orgasmic living, it's about living your life with joy and pleasure. And remember, we talked about that sort of meandering path, right? You have this sense of where you want to be, but it's not always a straight line on how to get there. So that uncontrollable energy where you're just following the energy and the whispers of consciousness to what it is that you'd like to create. Orgasmic living is about having total joy in every moment. Orgasmic living is about being totally present with all of the sensations that are available with your body. Orgasmic living is about being able to find pleasure and gratitude and love, for those of you that word works for you, in everything. So if we imagine if you could, be with that energy as I'm being it with you right now, as I have been being it with you throughout this webinar. Imagine if you could live every day of your life with that energy. Imagine if you could have that kind of energy between you and your body. Most of us are completely disconnected from our bodies, living from here up, which doesn't actually give you access to the way that your body is communicating with you, to the pleasurable sensations that are available with your body. I mean, can you think of the last time you had the most delicious meal that you sat down and you put that first bite in your mouth and you were just like, oh my God, that was amazing. Imagine if you could have that with everything, with your body, with your money flows, with every aspect of your business and all of your relationships. How amazing would the world be if all of us were choosing to live orgasmically?
Well, listen, what I love about what you said there is the fact is that we definitely get in the way of our body. We get in the way of living. We get in the way, in our own happiness and obviously pleasure. And I know that this is kind of a deep conversation. And again, the same as love means many different things. Orgasms or being orgasmic may mean different things to different people. When you explained it like that, well, the answer is who wouldn't? And who wouldn't want to live an orgasmic life? And the answer is any and everyone should say, yes, me too. So exploring it, and I think that's what personal and professional growth is all about. It is really about exploring, learning, challenging yourself with doing new things and really trying to understand your body and your mind and to see how far you can go and explore that. There shouldn't be taboos around this, but I know there is. So I can imagine that when you do help people and when you do tap into people's lives, facilitating, this new reality, you have many happy customers.
To find out more about our latest projects, get a free coaching lesson, or download my book, go to www.bernardo-moya.com.
Many happy customers, many happy relationships, many happy new businesses are born from this work. Orgasmic living includes really tapping into what it is that you desire to create for your life. The energy of orgasm, the creation of your body and your living. It is the energy of the creation of your life. The energy of orgasm is a generative energy, kind of like gratitude. When you add that level of joy and pleasure, everything grows. When you're in total joy, your money flows grow. Your business can expand. Everything can grow. So yeah, it's one of my favorite things to talk about and to play with.
I can imagine. And you glow. I mean, you can see a lot of people that are in sync, in the zone, or, who have a very orgasmic life and they glow, and obviously they attract all sorts of great things and great opportunities and great people. So there's so many advantages. Why is it so important to include our bodies in being the best you? Because I know obviously it's very synced with the body. Why is it?
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to say, what you see here today with me is a result, a product of 15 years, of being present with this energy and playing with this energy in my life. And I just want to remind people that are watching is that there has been a path to get here and that it is possible, because some of you may be thinking, oh, that's for her, but that's not for me. I can't do that. And I just want to let you know, if this is what you're thinking, that it is possible, because if I did it, I think anyone can do it. And seeing the results in my clients over and over and over again, if they can do it, everyone can do it. So why is it important? Why does it matter? When you truly choose to live orgasmically, when you choose orgasmic living, it is a process, but you become the person that creates everything that you desire. When you truly embrace joy, possibilities, curiosity, wonder, these are all elements of orgasmic living. When you truly embrace all of those energies, you become the person that creates everything. There is a level of confidence that emerges when you are truly including your body in the creation of your life. Our bodies function from total consciousness. As we are sitting here, our heart is pumping, our lungs are breathing, there's blood circulating through our body. From the moment your body is created, every single cell knows exactly what it's going to do for the rest of your life. Your white blood cells, your red blood cells, your liver knows what it's going to do. Your heart knows what it's going to do. That, to me, is an innate level of wisdom and brilliance. An innate level of consciousness in this beautiful creature that you have come to be here in this world. Everything in this world is pretty much for your body. If you didn't have a body, you wouldn't need clothes. You wouldn't need a car. You wouldn't need a house. These are all things that are created in this world for your body. So you want to include your body in those choices. And when you include the consciousness and the wisdom that is available in your body can guide you to something greater. I often joke that my body sometimes had to drag me along for this journey. You know, when pole dancing for consciousness was born, I was like, me? Talk about pole dancing for consciousness? What? But my body was like, yes, we're doing it, right? Consciousness of the body. When I went to write my first book, I was like, all right, body, show me. Show me, where do we go to create this? And I ended up at a Airbnb in the Cayman Islands, you know, for 2 weeks. And I wrote that book with my body. Body, what do you know? Body, what do you want to tell the world? What do we know about what we're here to create? And so everything that I've created in my life has been with the consciousness and the guidance of your body. Now, when you have a teammate, that is what your body is. It's your playmate, your teammate that has come, is being created in this world right now to play with you. Now, a lot of people don't feel that way about their bodies. They feel betrayed. They feel like, I had a client once when they first came to me, they're like, you mean your body has consciousness? I kind of thought it was just this thing that you got into like a car and then you drove it around in this life and then you left it. I'm like, no, it's a playmate. And when you, go ahead.
No, sorry, go ahead.
I could go on and on. Go ahead, ask me a question.
What I was going to say is that, you know, kind of, I understand what you're saying, but I also appreciate that. I think what happens is probably from our early years, you know, not everyone, you know, you get some people that are more athletic, who take care of themselves, who eat better, but then you do get a lot of people that completely ignore their body, put all sorts of crap in their body, from alcohol to food to sugars to whatever it is. And then, hey, they expect to live longer or they expect to have more stamina. And it's just not going to happen. So not only they don't speak to their body, they are killing their body. And you know, you can go to these fast food places and you see the people eating there. And unfortunately, that's what they're doing. They're killing themselves slowly. So I completely understand what you're saying about, you know, having that partner that is our body and that relationship within our mind and our body. So I love this approach that you have and how you're passionate about it. But let me ask you quickly, because we haven't got a lot of time now. Tell me, please, this idea that you came up with, the pole dancing for consciousness. So tell us a little bit about that. And I'm going to ask you, are you going to be doing some of this at the expo? So tell me.
Oh my gosh. So pole dancing for consciousness. As I mentioned, I was living from the neck up, and there was an energy that I wasn't allowing my body to have. And that was that innate sexual energy that our bodies naturally have. And pole dancing for consciousness was born out of a desire to create for other women and for other bodies what I did not have. So we use the pole as a tool to awaken sensuality, that sexual energy that is available. You know, to me, there is nothing more beautiful than a woman who is totally present with her entire body and who is totally present with the beauty and the grace and the kindness and the caring that she has come here to be in the world. So pole dancing for consciousness is designed to empower women to really shine in the world. And I have to say, I would love to work with men. So if there's any men out there that want to do some pole dancing for consciousness, I'm not excluding you. You're welcome. And again, using the pole to awaken the femininity, awaken the curves, awaken the genius of the feminine body. And I'm sure you as a man could say more about this, but what is it like when a woman walks into a room and she is shining her light bright into that room? She can change anything. Men have their own genius, right? Their own genius of their masculine body and what that creates in the world. But I just would really love for us to have a completely different way of being with our bodies in the world. Embodied, present, alive, awake. Those are all of the things that, and when you have all of that with your body, then you can create anything and unleash that magnificence.
And it's a phenomenal workout as well, isn't it? Because I mean, you have to be, well, it's a great workout, but you get very fit in doing it too as well. So I suppose it's that connection of feeling that sensuality and also that level of that degree of feeling yourself fit to be able to do things, because it seems quite challenging.
Yes, but I do want to say that this particular program isn't about getting fit. This is about getting present with your body.
Okay.
It's about really filling your whole body with all of you, if that makes sense. There's a lot of pole dancing out in the world that is, a workout.
Yeah.
And it can be, obviously, right? But when my clients come to me, this is customized to wherever they are.
Okay.
With their body. And it may include, climbing up the pole. It may not even include, it may just include touching the pole. It is about what your body is asking for and what your body needs to wake up and blossom. So the program is customizable to everyone that comes to me, and it's all different. And I've had women, in their 70s come and show up and say, hey, I want to go upside down. We check in with the body. Body, do you want to go upside down? Yes. Okay, let's do it. I've had women in their 20s that didn't even want to touch the pole, but just having the pole in the room shifted something.
Okay.
So it's not a workout. It's not to get fit. It's to get present with your body. It's to clear any of the trauma or abuse or anything that you've locked up in your body, any energy that you're not allowing yourself to have. It's about clearing that so that you can live orgasmically, so that you can walk this earth in total pleasure and joy.
Well, Patty, last question I wanted to ask you is, so you've obviously, I've seen you've spoken in many places, many countries about many different subjects. So we're delighted to have you at the Best You Expo. So tell us, what are you going to be sharing there? What are you going to be doing for us at the Best You Expo in March?
I am going to be talking about the number one mistake that is keeping you from living orgasmically. And I'm speaking on both days, which I'm super, super excited about. One day we'll get started and the next day we'll go deeper on a particular topic. I also have a book signing, so I'll be there with my book, Your Body as the Creation of Consciousness. And I'm so delighted and I'm so excited to come and share with you guys and invite you to live orgasmically with your body.
Well, that's amazing. We're very excited to have you there. And Patty, how can people find you? Anyone that wants to find out more about all the great work you do, how can they find you?
Sure. My website is pattyalfonso.sexy. And you can also find me on Facebook or Instagram at the Patty Alfonso. And I'm all over the place. Just Google me and see what you find.
Well, Patty, as I said, it was a pleasure speaking to you. You've got great energy, obviously, with what you do. And I think we'll probably do a webinar in Spanish next time. Si te animas, hablamos el próximo
vamos.
español. ¿Sí?
Claro. Bueno, tendrá que ser un poquito Spanglish.
Un poquito Spanglish, no pasa nada. Spanglish, hay mucho Spanglish por ahí. So that would be amazing. So, Patty, listen, thank you so much. I really appreciate you honoring us with your presence at the Expo in March. I had lots of fun speaking to you and can't wait to meet you.
I know. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
For more information, go to www.thebestyou.co.